Good morning, students. Today we will start the new unit, stability analysis. Okay. So first of all, we will study the concept of stability analysis. Then we will start the actual method to get the stability. Okay. So look at this. This is actually the unit number 3, stability analysis. Okay. So what is stability? Stability is an important requirement in control system. Okay. Stability is an important requirement in control system. The location of poles in S-plane affects the stability. This is the important line. The location of poles in S-plane affects the stability. Okay. The important thing is that when we are saying the system is stable, okay, so we have to check the location of poles. For example, suppose this is S-plane, okay. What is S-plane? S, we know that S is equal to sigma plus j omega. So sigma is x-axis and j omega is y-axis. Okay. So for the condition of stability, the location of poles should be on left hand side of j omega axis. Okay. This is left hand side and this side is right hand side. So location of poles should be on left hand side of j omega axis. If you have the transfer function and the location of poles are on left hand side of j omega axis, then you can say the system is stable. See, we will discuss in detail about the location of poles on j omega axis. But just remember that when the location of poles on left hand side of j omega axis, then system is stable. Okay. Then next, classification of stability. Basically, stability is divided according to these three classifications. Number 1, absolute stability. Number 2, relative stability. And number 3 is conditional stability. Okay. So, depending on these three, we have to determine the stability of the system. Okay. So, look at this. Number 1, absolute stability. Absolute stability is used to determine whether the system is stable or unstable. Okay. So generally we have to comment on the stability whether system is stable or unstable. Okay. So simply we will conclude the system is stable or unstable. We cannot do the analysis there. So that is called as absolute stability. Okay. Now next, relative stability. Relative stability is used for comparative analysis of stability, or it determines degree of stability. Okay. So I will give example here to explain the relative stability. Okay. See, we have to solve numerical based on this relative stability, but I am explaining this with the help of one example. See, this is actually the origin. And I am saying that this is S-plane because S is equal to sigma j omega. Okay. So what I am saying that, let's take a example where the system is having the transfer function. In that transfer function, number of poles are on left hand side of j omega axis. What I am saying? Number of poles are on left hand side of j omega axis. So just now I told you, if the number of poles are on left hand side of j omega axis, so system is stable. But now we have to check how much degree of stability is there or how much system is stable. In that case, we will do the analysis. So how we will do the analysis? Suppose this is S-plane. So what we will do now? We will shift this S-plane to new plane. For example, let's label this new y-axis as z-plane. Okay. So what I will do, suppose this new axis is shifted at -1. Okay. So what I will do, previous axis is suppose s. So new axis it will be s is equal to z minus 1. Okay. Look at this. I have shifted this j omega axis to new value and I have labeled that plane as a z plane. And I have shifted at s is equal to -1. But what I am writing, s is equal to z minus 1, that is actually the new j omega axis. So what I will do, I will substitute that S is equal to Z minus 1 in characteristic equation and I will do the analysis. Suppose after shifting, I am getting again all the poles on left hand side of this new Z plane. Again I am repeating, after doing analysis, that is after location of poles with the new characteristic equation, suppose I am getting the poles on left hand side of this Z plane. So my conclusion is that system is more stable as compared to the previous S plane. Why? Because after shifting this j omega axis to new plane, that is Z plane, all the poles are going towards left hand side. All the poles are going towards left hand side. If the poles are away from origin, in that case you can say that system is more stable. So I hope now you are getting the concept. What I have written here, relative stability means used for comparative analysis. So we are comparing these two things. Previous system is stable, but now we are calculating the degree of stability, that is called as the relative stability. I hope you got the concept of relative stability. We will solve numericals also. Now number 3, conditional stability. Okay, so what is conditional stability? A system is said to be conditionally stable with respect to parameters of the system. See here, with respect to parameters of the system. Okay, a system is said to be conditionally stable with respect to parameters of the system if it is stable for any certain bounded ranges. Okay, so from this definition you can conclude that system will be stable, but it depends on some parameters. Okay, so as the system is stable but it is dependent on some parameters, so it is called as conditionally stable system. Okay, so if we are calculating the stability analysis by assuming some parameters and we are getting the system as stable system, then we will say that system as conditionally stable system. Okay, so we have to solve numericals. Okay, so with this concept, absolute stability, relative stability and conditional stability. Okay, so these are actually the theoretical portion. Now look at this. Now we will see some concept. A linear time invariant system. A linear time invariant system is stable if following conditions are satisfied. Okay, now we have to check when the system will be stable. Okay, so these are the 4 parameters. If the system will satisfy these 4 parameters, then you can say that linear time invariant system is stable. See, we have studied the concept of time invariant and time variant in unit 1. Okay, so linear time invariant system is stable if, number 1, a bounded input is given to the system, the response of the system is bounded and controllable. Okay, so what is bounded? I will give you the example. Look at this. Suppose I am giving the example and I am applying the input here. Look at this. This is input and this input is varying with respect to time. Suppose I am giving input, initially I am getting some transients, then this transient will die out and after some time the system will be stable. Okay, so what you will say, suppose I am giving such type of input, okay, and I am getting output like this, suppose. Okay, so input output will also get settled and this output is also varying with respect to time. Okay, so let's assume this is not necessary that such type of input is there, then only you will get such type of output. Okay, because we have studied different input types also. I will give the example just like step input, ramp input, impulse input. You can assume that input also. I have just taken the random figure for input. What you have to understand the concept. See here, suppose input is given. If any input is given and you are getting such type of output. Okay, so what you can see here, initially you are getting some transients, but after some time the output will be stable. This output is not increasing continuously. Okay, so what you will say, when you are giving bounded input, you are getting bounded output. Okay, so this system is called bounded input, bounded output. Okay, so if such condition is there, in that case you can say that the system is stable. Okay, number 2, in absence of the input, the output should tend to 0. Output should tend to 0. If input is not there, so definitely output should not be there. But such condition can be possible if we are using RLC parameter. So we have studied that in case of inductor, capacitor, there will be some initial condition. What is initial condition? Inductor is storing energy in terms of current and capacitor is storing energy in terms of voltage. So there may be possibility that if we are not giving input, okay, but still we may get output. So such condition should not be there, okay, irrespective of the initial condition. If we are not applying input, output should be 0. Okay, then such condition is called stable condition. So number 3, if the input is absent, stability is called asymptotic stability. Okay, if the input is absent, then the stability is called asymptotic stability. Okay, so this is important term, asymptotic stability. I will explain this term when we will start root locus, but just understand the concept. Stability is called asymptotic stability when input is 0 or input is absent. Okay, if the system is stable when input is absent, then that stability is called as asymptotic stability. Number 4, in absence of the input, the response is governed by the system itself. In absence of the input, the response is governed by the system itself. Okay, so these are 4 conditions for the system to be stable. Okay, now we will see a linear time invariant system is unstable. Look at this. Previous is we have studied the conditions for stability. Now we will see the condition for instability. So what are these 2 conditions? Look at this. A linear time invariant system is unstable when, number 1, for a bounded input it produces unbounded output. Okay, here actually I have given the example. If you are giving bounded input, you are getting bounded output. System is stable, but what is the condition? You have given bounded input, but you are getting unbounded output. What is unbounded output? Look at this. This is output varying with respect to time. This line is giving the reference. Okay, so how I am showing, look at this, increasing irrespective of the bounded input. Bounded means during certain ranges. Okay, that is controllable input. We are giving bounded and controllable input, but we are getting such type of output. You can check that here output is continuously increasing. Then such type of output is called as unbounded output. Okay, so what is condition? You have given bounded input, you are getting unbounded output. So system will be definitely unstable. Then last point, in the absence of the input, see, input is absent, output may not return to 0. It shows certain output without input. Okay, so this is undesirable condition. Just now we have seen here, if we are not giving input, output should be 0. But what is this condition? Input is absent, but we are getting some output. Okay, so again this is undesirable, and in that case system is unstable. Okay, so we have studied, or we have started with the basic concept of stability, with the definition of stability, classification of stability, absolute, relative, conditional, and these are the conditions for stability and instability. Okay, so in next class we will see the numericals. We will solve numericals on stability, instability, for these different classifications. Okay, so thank you students.